Now on NBC Palm Springs at 5, hiring hits a slump. The number of job openings are on the decline and Valley residents are feeling it. We'll hear from job seekers ahead.
Also tonight, a Palm Springs man is behind bars after being accused of sending explicit messages to a teenager. More on what police say they uncovered. That's next.
And mostly blue skies return to the Coachella Valley, but a chance of thunderstorms returns. We'll have that full forecast for you in just a few minutes. NBC Palm Springs at 5 starts right now.
Now, this is NBC Palm Springs.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Olivia Sandusky.
And I'm Mark Messer. We start tonight with the latest jobs report. That's tonight's top story. New numbers show that job openings are now at their lowest level in 10 months. As the number of unemployed workers nationwide stands at 7.2 million, a number that has not been seen in more than 4 years. And some experts are claiming America could be in a job slump. Tiani Jadalang joins us live in studio tonight. She spoke with community members and shares their thoughts tonight. Tiani.
Mark, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, a downward trend started months ago. And as of right now, there are fewer jobs available than people seeking work.
It's been just over a month since President Donald Trump fired the commissioner of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, accusing her of manipulating monthly job reports over political purposes.
We're doing so well. I believe the numbers were phony, just like they were before the election, and there were other times. So you know what I did? I fired her. Right. And you know what? I did the right thing.
But numbers released Wednesday by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics aren't turning upwards yet. The number of job openings sat at just over 7 million at the end of July, dropping almost 2.5% from the month before. And while there are a number of factors that could contribute to a job slump, local resident Denise Rodriguez-Bowman has her own thoughts.
What I think has been a hindrance is the online application process. So online, it's just very dispersonal. There's no engagement. When you walk into establish and say, like the good old days, are you hiring? And here I am, and let me talk to you. That doesn't happen anymore.
The mother of 2 job seekers says living in an area like the Coachella Valley could play a part as well.
The desert's very difficult for the summer seasons to get employment. I think a lot of younger people struggle in finding work. So big plug, hire youth. They need jobs too.
There's another possibility. A study coming out of Stanford University says AI could be adding to the shrinking number of jobs, especially for those looking to begin careers in the software engineer and customer service fields.
According to the reports, the biggest hiring gains were seen in jobs such as repair, maintenance, and even pet care. Live in studio, I'm Tiani Jadalang, NBC Palm Springs.
Tiani, thank you. A local alert this evening. A 42-year-old man was arrested in Palm Springs after inappropriately communicating with a minor living out of state. The Palm Springs Police Department says they were made aware of Robert Lloyd Simmons' messages to a 15-year-old. Detectives reviewed the information. They confirmed sexually explicit conversations had taken place. Officers arrested Simmons on East Palm Canyon Drive. Police say he knowingly communicated with the minor while aware of their age. He's been booked into the John Benoit Detention Center on multiple charges.
A driver led deputies on a chase through Rancho Mirage this morning before finally surrendering near Highway 111. We've mapped it out for you right there. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department says this started just after 8 a.m. when deputies tried to make a traffic stop at Frank Sinatra and Bob Hope Drive. Instead of pulling over, that driver took off. The pursuit ended near Highway 111 and Thunderbird Road, where deputies negotiated with the motorist to give up. The suspect, who has not been identified tonight, was taken into custody and hospitalized with minor injuries. It's still unclear how those injuries happened. This investigation remains ongoing.
The Cabazon parents accused of killing their 7-month-old son Emmanuel are due in court tomorrow. Jake and Rebecca Haro were arrested in August following a weeks-long investigation led by multiple authorities. Their arraignment for murder is scheduled for 9 a.m. at the Riverside Hall of Justice. NBC Palm Springs will be there covering this court date. We'll have immediate coverage in our 11 a.m. newscast, so please stay with us for more information as it develops.
One of Indio Police's canines has proven himself to be a very good boy. Last night, Officer Moran of the Indio Police Department conducted a traffic stop where his investigation canine, whose name is Hokey, sniffed out narcotics. A Ziploc bag containing 246 M30 fentanyl pills were found in a vehicle. No additional information about this stop has been released, but we can say to that dog, good boy.
Palm Desert has some road closures this week for you to know before you go. Tomorrow, the first is the #1 lane. It will close in both directions on Washington Street and Harris Lane. This is from 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. There was another road closure that was on Monterey for the week, but that one has finished up. Let's go ahead and take a live look outside now from our Agua Caliente casino camera in Rancho Mirage. We had some heavy clouds in the Coachella Valley yesterday, rain in the morning, but the blue skies returned for us. And let's go ahead and look at the almanac for today. 102 degrees. Our Kai Beach will return with his weather forecast for us here on NBC Palm Springs next week. But for now, we'll be handling the weather. Look at that. 117 was the high back in 2010. So thankfully, a few degrees below that. Your evening stroll forecast by 6 o'clock, 99, dipping under the 100 mark and then dropping to 89 by midnight. It's still going to be very sticky and muggy out there. A lot of moisture and humidity in the Coachella Valley, so something to be aware of as you head out this evening. Even though it's below triple digits, it's still going to be uncomfortable. Speaking of the moisture that we've had here in the Coachella Valley, here's a look at the radar leading up to current time right now. You can see most of it staying out of the valley, although there is some expected humidity and possible thunderstorm activity that could be back in the valley on Thursday. You can see none of it really reaching us as far as right now. Here's your future precipitation map. It's not showing anything directly for the Coachella Valley for Thursday, but just keep in mind, always a possibility when we have these moisture levels. If you're curious about the rain totals from yesterday, you can see Indio accumulating almost ½ an inch with the rain that we saw in just a few short hours. Let's go ahead and take a look at that Comfort Air 3-day forecast. 100 for Thursday, 98 Friday, back to 100 on Saturday. Your lows staying in the upper 70s, just hitting 80 on Friday. We'll have a look at that 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Tonight, a resident of Healing Sands Mobile Home and RV Park is talking to us about what they say are unlivable conditions. Our Brett Rosen joins us live in studio with a follow-up to a story that he brought us last week. Brett, what's the latest?
Mark, like you said, we first covered this story last week. A mobile home and RV park where residents told us the issues of frequent water and power shutoffs, the uncleanliness of dumpsters, one resident mentioning a rat infestation issue. This is a community that expressed how they feel forgotten. And after multiple residents told me they wouldn't go on camera because they said they were afraid of the owners and management, finally, one resident said yes. And this is her story.
It just sucks, like, knowing that the owners of the park don't even really, they're not even here almost all the time. If they cared about us, they would put money into it and have this park looking nice.
This is Martina, a resident of Healing Sands for over a year. And now she says her boyfriend and her are looking to move because of the issues at the mobile home and RV park, saying how frustrating it's been to not have management that care.
Whenever it's like they're working on plumbing on another house on this street, maybe it's an emergency, they didn't let us know the last time. Completely just shut our water off for 3 days. And I mean, we weren't able to take a shower coming home from work. We weren't able to wash our dishes. We weren't able to brush our teeth or even wash our face. And it just irks me, like, knowing that there's people that don't even care that if we go without water or not.
Now, there are two sides to every story. I spoke to the property manager of Healing Sands, who says the claims by the residents are false. He wouldn't go on camera, but told us at NBC Palm Springs that the owners do visit the park, even as recent as last month, and that complaints of the uncleanliness were not made apparent to them by residents. The property manager would go on and say, yes, water was not made available to residents for multiple days last week, but that's because after fixing the water within 24 hours, the manager says it was someone who vandalized the already repaired pipes that prolonged the issue. And eventually, there was a complaint made last week to the County of Riverside Environmental Health Service Department. They checked on the mobile home and RV park the next day and saw issues with the overflow of trash in the dumpsters.
We did confirm that there was trash accumulated in the park around the dumpster area and very specific to the area between lots 31 and 35. So our environmental health specialist issued a notice of violation to the park owner for the accumulation of trash, and we set a compliance date for 1 week. They followed up and indicated that they would get the trash cleaned up and also increase the trash services. They're going to increase it to 3 times per week.
Now, something that Christine Lorge mentioned was communication that needs to happen between residents and the property manager if there is an issue within the park, and if there is continued problems, to reach out to them. Also, something to point out was the property manager said we would get a written out statement from the owners with proof that the claims of the residents were false. We have not yet received that statement. Live in studio, I'm Brett Rosen, NBC Palm Springs.
Brett, thank you for that report. More local news tonight. The Cathedral City Senior Center is hosting a food drive. It's this Friday for National Food Bank Day. It runs from 9 to 4. The center and their volunteers will be accepting food donations, primarily pasta, pasta sauce, cereal, soup, and canned veggies. Every donation goes toward feeding people in need of some fresh food. You can make a donation in person at the Cathedral City Senior Center. You can also go to the website, access it through the QR code, which is available on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Sunnylands Center and Gardens is opening a new photography exhibit. It's next week, showcasing the estate's carefully curated trees. The exhibit's called Curating Canopy, Trees at Sunnyland. It debuts September 10th. Admission is free Wednesday through Sunday from 8:30 in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The exhibit features floor-to-ceiling images by photographer David Loftus, capturing species such as the jacaranda, Virginia live oak, and crepe myrtle.
And there's an adoption event this weekend at the Earthwise Pet Center and Wellness Spa in Rancho Mirage. It's in partnership with the Coachella Valley Cat Club. It runs from 11 to 3 on Saturday. Adopters will get a sampling of Earthwise pet food as well. Again, this starts at 11 a.m.
Coming up next year on this Wednesday evening, Jeffrey Epstein survivors meet on Capitol Hill today. They're speaking out to the public what they want lawmakers to do. That's coming up.
Plus, Vice President J.D. Vance visiting Minneapolis school shooting victims and families. We'll hear more from that meeting right after the break. Stay with us.
Committed to covering our community. You're watching NBC Palm Springs at 5.
Survivors of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein stood together today speaking to the public and lawmakers on Capitol Hill.
Many saying stories of their abuse at the hand of the convicted sex offender cannot be silenced. NBC's Ryan Nobles has the details from the nation's capital.
One by one, survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's sex abuse stood at the foot of the Capitol to tell their story.
My name is Annie Farmer, and I was 16 years old when I was flown to New Mexico to spend a weekend with Epstein and Maxwell.
My name is Courtney Wild. I was only 14 years old when I was introduced to Jeffrey Epstein by a 13-year-old friend of mine.
I have never been more scared in my life than I was that first time that he hurt me.
The women speaking at a news conference with Congressman Thomas Massie and Democrat Ro Khanna, both pushing for a full House vote to force the Department of Justice to release the entire trove of Epstein documents.
We need legally binding legislation to force that to happen. I'm not going to give up.
Though the House Speaker Mike Johnson says the bill, known as a discharge petition, is irrelevant because the DOJ has already released thousands of documents to the Oversight Committee. But critics say most of those documents are already public, and many pages were heavily redacted.
They want everything released.
Congress must choose. Will you continue to protect predators, or will you finally protect survivors?
President Trump asked about the issue today.
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends.
But it's not only Democrats. Ardent Trump supporters demanding the president keep his campaign promise to release the files and support the women who say what happened to them should never happen again.
We are tired of looking at the news and seeing Jeffrey Epstein's name and saying that this is a hoax. We are tired of it. We are done.
But here on Capitol Hill, the House voted this afternoon to continue the House oversight investigation into Epstein. Congressman Massie says, though, that will do nothing to compel the Department of Justice to cooperate. Ryan Nobles, NBC News, Washington.
Vice President J.D. Vance visited Minneapolis today after the Catholic school shooting that took the lives of 2 children and injured 21 others. Vance and the Second Lady laid flowers around noontime at a makeshift memorial in front of Annunciation Church, the site of the shooting. He then spoke with families involved in the tragedy before making this statement.
One of the ways that I'm going to try to honor these parents and the children that they lost is by being a better dad. If you're lucky enough to have a son or a daughter, make sure that they know that they love you. Make sure that you hug your kids tight, because there are families in Minneapolis who won't be able to do that ever again.
Vance also talked about how the public and the media should focus less on the shooter and more on the victims and their families.
OpenAI says parents will soon have more oversight over what their teenagers are doing on ChatGPT. The company announcing parents will be able to link their accounts with their children's, set age-appropriate rules for ChatGPT's responses, and manage features like the bot's memory and chat history. The artificial intelligence company says those changes are coming within the next month. Parents will soon also be able to receive notifications when ChatGPT detects their teen is in a moment of distress. The company's announcement comes a week after OpenAI was hit with its first wrongful death lawsuit from a pair of parents in California who claim ChatGPT is at fault for their 16-year-old son's suicide. The Los Angeles woman known as the ketamine queen pleading guilty today in connection with the fatal overdose of Friends actor Matthew Perry. Jasveen Sangha pleading guilty to 5 federal counts, including distribution of ketamine. She's set to be sentenced in December. She faces a maximum prison sentence of 65 years. Perry was found face down in the heated end of his pool at his LA home in 2023. The county medical examiner's office later attributed his death to an accidental overdose of the anesthetic. 2 doctors and Perry's live-in personal assistant have also pleaded guilty to ketamine distribution charges in the actor's death.
We're giving you a live look from our Indian Wells Golf Resort camera on this Wednesday evening. You can still see we're dealing with some cloud cover. There's more rain in the forecast for this week. All that plus your 7-day forecast when we come right back.
Welcome back. Here's a live look outside our Walter Clark Highway 111 camera in Rancho Mirage. Some cloud cover from this view, and we look the other way in Rancho Mirage towards the pass. It's pretty blue skies out there, so something to keep in mind. We're going to have a lot of moisture over at least the next 24 hours. Should dry out by the weekend, but let's look at the current conditions outside right now. 101 degrees in Palm Springs. Winds really not a factor, 4 miles an hour. Humidity 24%, and that's something that will continue into tomorrow. The high temperatures today, Palm Desert reaching 105. We've got 102 in Palm Springs, getting a little cooler as we head higher, 89 degrees in Joshua Tree. Your lows for this evening, dipping down into just about the 80s. A little cooler if you want to head to Idlewild, 63 degrees there, 77 in Thousand Palms. So we'll be warm and muggy tonight. Mostly clear out there, though. However, those thunderstorm chances do carry into tomorrow. You can see the high temperatures for tomorrow. It will be 100 degrees in Palm Springs. So temperature-wise, not too bad here for the end of summer, although it will be fairly uncomfortable. We've got monsoonal moisture, which will remain in place through Thursday with chances for afternoon and early evening thunderstorms. That's for the mountain, the desert, and inland valleys. So something to keep an eye on, although relative chances really not too great for us here in the valley. Your dew point, 65 degrees there for Palm Springs on Thursday. That's going to feel pretty uncomfortable, especially in the morning hours, but again, drying out as we head into the weekend. Speaking of, let's look at that 7-day forecast brought to you by Comfort Air. 100 degrees again for Thursday, 98 for Friday, and then we kind of stay consistent. Maybe 96 degrees by next Wednesday. Be nice. We'll be right back.
The NBC Palm Springs Sports Desk with Tim O'Brien. Brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos.
Well, welcome back. This time tomorrow night on this very channel, you hear the sweet sounds of the return of the NFL season right here on NBC Palm Springs. Oh, I love that. It's the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Dallas Cowboys to kick off the 2025 season in the city of brotherly love. That jingle's been in Olivia's head all afternoon. Now, the coverage begins at 4 o'clock with Football Night in America, again, right here on NBC Palm Springs. So no 5 or 6 p.m. newscast, but we will be on immediately following the game. And speaking of Sunday night, it's the premiere of Firebirds Off the Ice, our new weekly 30-minute show going behind the scenes with the Coachella Valley Firebirds. Now, when I say we've interviewed just about everybody inside Acrisure Arena, I mean it, and we're only getting started. We're going to bring you the brains from the top on down on the operation, from the team and the arena, how everything is put together on a daily basis. So you can catch it every Sunday night following the game right here on NBC Palm Springs, then on My Firebirds TV on KPSE, Saturdays at 6 o'clock. But before we get to the weekend, of course, we've got high school football to kick off on Thursday night. Yucca Valley at Cathedral City, and then Serrano at Xavier Prep. That'll happen tomorrow night. And then on Friday, a full slate of games. Elsinore at Palm Desert, Palm Springs and Coachella Valley, Citrus Valley at La Quinta, Yucaipa at Shadow Hills, Tahquitz at Rancho Mirage, and Desert Mirage at Desert Christian. So we'll have a full crew, of course, around the valley. You can catch everything Friday Night Lights on our site on NBCPalmSprings.com. That'll do it in sports. I'm Tim O'Brien.
All right, finally at 5:50, 2 dogs from Riverside County Animal Shelters, including the Coachella Valley Animal Campus, flew east for a second chance at a forever home. Animal counselors partnered with Wings of Rescue to transport dogs from multiple Riverside County shelter locations to lessen the overcrowding crisis. Shelters taking in the dogs are the Give a Dog a Home Rescue in Sebec, Maine, Miracle Lane Farm and Sanctuary in Augusta, Maine, and SPCA in Westchester, New York.
Wow, a bit of a change there in temperature for them. I'm sure they stepped off the plane, felt nice.
This is nice. We get used to this.
Works for me.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Nightly News is next, and we're back here at 6. See you then.